Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, one of the classic tropes of Age of Empires will be playing out before our very eyes as quantity takes on quality, with MbL playing as the Byzantines in blue, getting ready to take on Babaorum playing as the Lithuanians in yellow. Now, while the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings with sheep, scouts, and everything possibly available to them, look at the deer scattering to the three corners of the wind here and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we are going to be watching today? Now, the Byzantines are a civilization designed to take a punch to the face. Their structures progressively get more HP as the game goes on, all the way up to 40% more HP in Imperial. And by the way, that applies to every single structure that they have. Their bombard towers can be upgraded to get splash damage. They get town watch, town patrol for free, so they automatically see enemies coming from a mile away. And when the battle finally does start, their monks heal units twice as fast, and they can slow down enemy advances by spamming so-called trash units for days. Why is that? Because their skirmishers, their spearman line units, and their camel riders are all 25% cheaper. Now, their unique unit is the Cataphract, the heavy cavalry unit with a massive attack bonus against infantry that can take a pounding with a good amount of HP and strong base armor. Now, once the Byzantines finally do decide to get their butts up to Imperial, they only pay 2/3 the cost of doing so, which does allow them to invest their saved resources into upgrading that very Cataphract I just mentioned by giving it trample damage and an even bigger attack bonus against, you got it, infantry. Let's take a look. Oh, almost a pristine pull here as the boar gets one final ass poke before MbL's villagers do take it down. Now let's take a look at Babaorum, the Lithuanians, a civilization that focuses on man-o-man, their heavy cavalry. Lithuanian knights, cavaliers, paladins all get a free attack boost for every relic they collect, all the way up to a maximum of 4 relics for a free +4 attack boost. And by the way, this feature also applies to their unique unit, the Latest. This is a heavy cavalry unit whose attack actually ignores enemy armor, making it one of the deadliest units in the game. Now, to gather the relics to get this free attack boost as fast as possible, Lithuanian monasteries do work 20% faster, so you can start pumping out monks quicker and also researching upgrades for those monks quicker. Now, to support their armies on the battlefield, Lithuanian spearman line units, their skirmishers do move 10% faster, and both can be upgraded to get extra pierce armor. Now, to build a big, robust economy to support their military endeavors, each Lithuanian town center does provide 100 food for free. If you'll notice in the beginning of the game, the Lithuanians did start with 100 extra food, and they can be harder to raid in Castle Age because they can upgrade their town centers to get extra range, which does make them outrange most mangonels in the game. Look at this, a double pull, a boar goes down. Will a deer go down? We know how stubborn these guys get. Yep, it goes down. So like I said, we've got a quintessential quantity civilization taking on very much a quality civilization that needs to get relics. So before we even look at the bases, I want to see where the relics are located on the map here and to see whether or not our French player Babaorum is advantage or disadvantage. Already right from the very beginning, I see 1, 2, 3 relics right in the immediate vicinity of his settlement. So fantastic, although he hasn't discovered a single one yet. MbL's got 1 to the south of his base, 1 to the north. So we're looking at a potentially +3 heavy cavalry attack bonus from our Lithuanian in this Orion's tilted belt of relics here. So we'll see whether the players contest. The name of the game here, I guess, for both players, for our Byzantine is contest the relics. For our Lithuanian, contest the Byzantine from getting their asses up to Imperial Age. Generally, in Age of Empires, when civilizations have discounts, they're usually the first to reach whatever unit or structure or whatever it is that they have a discount for. So Burgundians generally the first to hit Paladins because of their cheaper stable tech, similar to the Byzantines. I believe the cheapest Imperial Age up cost in the entire game, I think it's only something like 660. Is there rounding in Age of Empires? 666 food, the sign of the Diablo. And I think something a little bit over 500 gold. I'll take a look at the specific numbers. I probably should have prepared that ahead of time. Oh, man. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's take a look at the bases as both players head up to the next age off the back of the same number of villagers. MbL with a massive 1 second of idle time. It looks like he's exactly 25 seconds behind his opponent, which tells me our Lithuanian, did you skip Loom? You skipped Loom, you naughty, naughty Lithuanian, whose base has been discovered by MbL. MbL's base Sorry. MbL's base also discovered by Babaorum. Let's take a look at MbL's base, by the way. Primary gold, kind of forward, kind of safe behind this forest. We'll see if our Lithuanian decides to attack through the south, if he's even the one putting on the aggression. Backward stone, both primary and secondary, is a pretty good deal here for our Byzantine. Additional gold to the front, additional gold to the back, lots and lots of timber to the rear of his base, and I like the positioning of these forests. Makes it fairly easy to wall off the base. So not a terrible spawn here for MbL and our Byzantine. Let's take a look. Also, 3 forests, a bit further, a bit more annoying to wall off. So I guess that's exactly why we're seeing Babaorum create a bit of a siphon here, not exactly a full wall off. Primary gold in the middle of the road here, but secure now behind a barracks and a stable. Primary stone very exposed to the front. Additional gold also to the front. Additional gold to the front. Yikes. So not the greatest of locations for these resources. He doesn't have anything to the back of his base except a little bit of wood and his secondary stone. So on the whole, both location of forests and location of resources, I would give this very much to our Byzantine. Sorry, I don't know why I derped out there with the word Byzantine. Although that being said, Babaorum is undertaking quite a construction project here and is beginning to wall off. And in a second, his flanks are going to be very much secure against any kind of Byzantine aggression. And our Byzantine, speaking of quantity, 7 army count to 4 off the back of the same villager count. Both players still at almost nil when it comes to town center idle time. And let's see where MbL will choose to attack. He discovers that there's a wall off. He must know that this is a kill zone here. These villagers will garrison the second he tries to step foot into this yellow arc of death. And that's exactly what happens. So I wonder here, oh, what will happen? Oh, look at this. The spearmen get trapped outside. So the support for the scouts is all of a sudden stuck outside. Uh-oh. Where are the yellow spearmen? They were down south here, right? Oh, he left them outside the settlement, which means he has to make the arduous trek all the way around the horn here on the left side. Where is his other spearman? Oh, he's here to the north, guarding the wall against the White Walkers, I guess. And let's see, will MbL continue to engage now that he sees a spearman? First blood going to our Lithuanian, getting one of them scouts. And look at MbL. He has to micro his heart out right now. He cannot let the spearman catch up. What a sour turn of events for our Byzantine, who, okay, turns around, I think with the high ground, managed to get one of these Lithuanian scouts. And so we're now sitting at 1 kill apiece. The problem for Babaorum, is that MbL's still inside of his base, which is really annoying. It's going to tax his micro a lot. The problem for MbL is that he's stuck inside the base. So the same situation, problematic for both players. MbL not really getting that much extra scouting here with these 2 scouts, which, by the way, gunned down another scout. Ooh, this guy's about 1 cough away from dying, and he heads straight for the town center. Okay, he does die. 2 kills, 3 kills. Okay. And that's all she wrote for those scouts. They got a little bit of scouting done, and that house placement here by our Lithuanian, absolutely perfectly timed. And we've got the Michael Jackson scout. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if I zoomed in too chaotically, but that scout was moonwalking his way all the way to the Byzantine base. And that house, again, was so perfectly timed, kept the spearmen out, which means that MbL's army could get engaged by the Lithuanian, whatever unit the Lithuanian wanted. There was nothing to counter the Lithuanian scouts whatsoever. High stakes battle occurring here to the north of the Byzantine base, which has not been walled off. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can continue to look at that high speed chase there. Looks like our Lithuanian is adding a few more spearmen as well. Sorry, in my mind, I was thinking about the speed of the units, and I clicked them without pointing it out. Look at the yellow spearmen moving at 1.1 to the 1.0 of the Byzantine. That's the Lithuanian 10% faster movement speed on their spearman line units, on their skirmisher line units. And Babaorum not making the same mistake that MbL did, not engaging into this frontal position of the town center. And now he's going to lead his opponent's scouts on a merry chase. What's the HP on these 2 scouts, by the way? Not great, not terrible. Exactly 2/3. He brought a few of these spearmen, but honestly, with the quicker movement speed, they can always just turn around and return home whenever they want. And now he's leading the spearmen away. The spearmen, they don't see, they must have seen the tip. MbL's vision, fantastic. And vision and reaction time. How many of us would have seen that very small shimmer of a yellow scout? That was absolutely epic. And that's exactly what Babaorum tried to do here. He tried to lead all of the scouts away on a chase, and most of them fell for it right up until MbL, unfortunately for the Lithuanian, very fortunate for him, caught wind of those two scouts. So great gameplay so far out of both players. Very impressive in Feudal Age. And unfortunately, though, ladies and gentlemen, we are leaving Feudal Age just as these units are leaving this base, which I guess is open. And there we go. MbL is now secure for a little while. Not that I really expected a few spearmen and a few scouts to do too much damage. Wolf joins in on the fight, but this quicker moving Lithuanian spearman is gonna basically run circles around him. And oh, right, what fortuitous timing. Oh my god, 3 wolves. 1, 2, 3. We've got an absolute crazy situation here. I mean, I say crazy, it's 3 wolves. This is I don't think we've ever seen this. By the way, the one to the south, the spearman to the south, is very much in jeopardy of dying. No, he dies. His HP was so bad. And Babaorum loses 4 units, even though MbL only killed 3. But does he care? They're just spearmen. They live, they die like fruit flies. And that's all she wrote for that one spearman. This one, if he's not careful, he's going to attract the attention of the one to the north here. Should have attracted the attention. I don't know why he didn't. This was, oh my god, this was attracted too. What is happening is, I mean, I've seen this happen on mid to mid-high level Elo games where players pull wild animals towards their opponents. We'll see if the yellow spearman goes into the blue base. Not to put too fine a point to it. And that might just be one of Babaorum's strategies here. It's just to be annoying as possible to pull these wolves. And I think that's exactly what he's doing. Was he on a bit of a wolf chase? What the hell is happening here? But now they should attack the blue spearman. Who got the kill, by the way? The spearman got the kill. So the wolves, after all that time, got nothing. And out come those cheaper Byzantine camels, 25% off. But as always in Age of Empires, there's never just something that's amazing. There always has to be a negative that comes with it. Like I always say, the developers giveth, but the developers also taketh away. And in the case of the Byzantines, these camels will never have their full HP. Bloodlines is missing, and they will never hit as hard as they want to because they don't get blast furnace. So they will always cap out at a +2 attack. Not that that's really relevant at the moment. I don't see any upgrades on these camels whatsoever. But 18 army supply to 12, 41 to 47. I got so lost in that random Gaia wild wolf situation. I don't even know what the hell to call it. Is this open, by the way? No. That I completely lost track of the game there for a second. You guys know I sometimes tunnel vision like no other and miss a few things on the map, which is why I started introducing picture-in-picture. But this might be a good time for us to take a look at what's going on in the bases. 1, 2, 3 town centers up for our, maybe almost up for our Lithuanian. And where one has gone vertical, the other has gone horizontal with a 3 town center situation as well. Looks like one of the crossbows died, of course, right as I peeled away. And the camels close. But they've got to be careful. Unupgraded as they are, camels come with 0 base armor of any kind. So even skirmishers, especially skirmishers with bodkin that attack on a 5, can deal a good amount of damage to this unit that only has 100 HP, no armor, no bloodlines, and at the moment, no husbandry either. Okay. Babaorum pushing out on the map. What's happening here? Oh, he's using the crossbows to kill. Oh my goodness. The local wolf population. He does not want his chickens. He does not want his sheep. He does not want his villagers to die to the wildlife. And so preemptively killing it. Okay. First relic looks like it is going to go to our Byzantine. By the way, our Lithuanian does have 3 monks. Let's see how many relics he's seen. I mean, obviously this one. Seen the one to the north. There used to be a relic here, which tells me our Lithuanian is returning home with his first relic. So he's going to have 2 relics in a second. And he's seen the one down here. Oh, Mama Bear. He has seen the one up here, so he might have 4 relics. Oh, that's going to be bad news bears for our Byzantine. He's going to have to clog up the works real bad with a lot of army. And he, by the way, has had a military supply lead this entire game, right as his opponent gets housed. And you know what MbL isn't? Housed. Unless I missed it. I don't think he's been housed once this game. And that is called learning. That is why I think MbL is definitely on the upswing. There are players whose time has come and gone. There are players who are declining. There are players who are staying the same. I've watched them for years. Their Elo has bounced up 100, down 100, up 100, down 100. And even though MbL's Elo kind of looks like it's down a little bit lately, I honestly think this is just a ranked ladder thing. I expect big things out of MbL. You heard it here first, although not very unique to say that. There's a lot of, you monster. Right as I'm singing your praises, right as I say that, you have to go and kill that wild host. Why him and not him? This just reminds me, I saw the saddest tweet of all time today. It was a koala bear that lost its spouse and was mourning the loss of the spouse, and he had his little hands on her, and she was lying dead on the ground, and I started crying, probably because I'm a big baby, probably because I have a big baby. But man, oh man, did it hit me in the feels, and I just started crying and bawling. My wife looked at me and said, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And then I showed it to her, and she started crying too. It was just the saddest thing in the world. You have to look it up if you're into sappy things like that. So I'm taking that attack on the horse personal. MbL, you've been warned. Don't you ever, ever attack a horse ever again. Or honestly, even a camel, I guess. What other non-wildlife is there in Age of Empires besides the camel and the horse? Right? I don't think there is any other. Although, yeah, I'm trying to think. Right? There's the wild camel, and then there's the horse. Everything else is consumable or kills you or attacks you. Like, I'm not talking about Komodo dragons and bears. Let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm missing something, as sometimes does happen. But anyway, let's get back into the game. Enough nonsense. Our Byzantine quantity galore, twice the army count of his opponent, made up of a pretty damn good army count, by the way. But here come the Lechai. They have +4 attack. What they need is freaking forging and iron casting to get them up to +6. And that's, by the way, if you, as I was saying, the developers giveth and taketh away. The Byzantines, the Lithuanians, like the Byzantines, don't get blast furnace. And oh no, for our Lithuanian, our Byzantine is heading up to Imperial. He's placing down a castle to the north. Our Byzantine does have okay, I was gonna say still double. Oh no, that was lackluster. I thought that would do a lot more damage. Okay. It does damage, but to the wrong team. It gets converted, turns on its former teammate, and guns down 2 monks, whereas before it had the chance to kill a whole bunch of skirmishers. That was when shit like that happens. Man, does it make watching this game worthwhile. I love when little things like that happen, although not so little for our Byzantine, who has to get the hell out of here all of a sudden, as +4 attack Lechai are hot on his heels. And remember, they ignore armor, so they're dealing 17 damage to a unit that has 35 HP. Luckily for MbL, that means they need 3 pokes instead of 2. But bye-bye crossbows. How annoying is the Lechai to deal how annoying are the Lechai to deal with when they get all uppity like this? And fantastic scouting here, by the way, by our Lithuanian. These aren't Frankish knights with extra line of sight, so I don't know if he really saw the majority of these camels, but he definitely saw that his opponent is going camels. Okay, villager finally with loom on the high ground should take care of that wolf pretty damn easy. And our Lithuanian, he's back, except this time it's not two scouts and a 3 or 4 spearmen. It is a pretty damn powerful army. The problem for him is quantity. There's 16 camels. MbL's going up to 30 camels. How many Lechai are there here? Only 8. Okay, decent attack round out of the yellow mangonel, which is about to die. Loses a monk, loses a mangonel. There's a lot of skirmishers here. There is a castle here. MbL should not be engaging into this. Even with the discount, it sucks to throw away units. And here, is there ever a clear example of quantity versus quality? 6 camels to 2 Lechi. As the players, will they, won't they, pull a Jim and Pam right in front of our very eyes? Will they engage? Won't they engage? One player does finally have forging. The other player, his Lechi, are still at just a +4. I mean, the crossbows are getting a good amount of kills here on these skirmishers, but honestly, I don't think you really need skirmishers at this point. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O, our Byzantine, he's got enough stone for yet another castle. He is castle pushing, and by the way, he's an Imperial. His castles have 40% more HP, and he has the option with his ridiculous food count to possibly maybe go up to heavy camels. Our Lithuanian is heading up to Imperial as well, though 50 seconds away. Oh, sister castle developing. Who will get their castle up first? A house blocks part of this army, but no, it did not block all of it. Maybe a gate? Could you even fit a gate on a tilted field like that? One latest tries to get the Treb, gets it down to half of its HP. Okay, Lithuanian castle goes up first. Villagers get inside, villagers get inside, villagers get inside. And the Lechi just proved themselves the superior unit yet again. And now both players are in Lithuania. Both players are in Lithuania, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. No, both players are in Imperial. MbL's castle has been stopped at 91.4%. Does he have any more villagers? No, they're building stables. Lechi try to close yet again. They will get one Treb. Will they get the second? Yes, it falls, but a costly get there. That's a whole bunch of dead Lechi right when you need them most, and we are a minute away from heavy camels. Conscription in 25 seconds. He's going to be able to start pumping out camels like nobody's business. And by the way, look at this. A random row of stables, 6 of them in total. So not exactly Gothic barracks, but with 6 stables and heavy camels at 25% off. Why is MbL attacking this castle with 1 villager? Does he have a siege? We know he has a, or not, why is Babaorum? Sorry, we know he has a siege workshop. Get yourself a ram. Do yourself a favor, get yourself a ram. Armor upgrades more important for him. Now, I don't know about this. Let me know what you think. When you're going up against a unit with now it should have a +18 attack bonus, do you really need armor? I would prefer to maybe kill that camel as fast as possible as opposed to absorb as much damage as possible. Let me know. As always, in the comments. I don't really think there's a right answer, but I personally would have gone very much for the attack upgrades, and finally we're getting forging, but the camels are moving in, and holy shit, there's a lot of them. There's not a lot of Lithuanian army here, and what army there is dying very quickly. Now, luckily, there are still palisades up, and so the camels have to go through very much a choke point. Blue, you might want to start using some of these villagers to build your castle if you want to get it up. He's bringing more villagers, but they're busy harvesting gold. Okay, they finally do move forward. And uh-oh. Our Byzantine has twice the army. And his castle's gonna go up. And he's got 3 Trebs, 2 of them on the high ground. Our Lithuanian, he has 1 converted camel for a brief second. And okay. That's all she wrote. Quantity beats quality. At least in this game. And look at that, right at the 40-minute mark. What the hell happened there? We gotta go back and look at that. You guys know when there's an engagement like this, yours truly loves to go back and look at it. Okay, let's get rid of the villagers, get rid of the Trebs. We've got 9 skirmishers. I might as well get rid of the skirmishers too. 9 skirmishers, 12 Lechi without forging, by the way. Attack-wise, fully upgraded heavy camels. So there's your little bottom left of your screen is the very definition of what I'm talking about. 3,000 HP to 1,500, literally double the HP. Although perhaps with 4 conversions, that might be 400, so an 800 swing. So 26 to 1,900 is not as bad as 30 to 15, right? Let's see what happens here, because I feel like our Lithuanian should have done a better job, especially with again, the palisades are up. The choke points have been set rather. The crossbows are nowhere near the battle. Okay, let's see what actually ends up happening here. Lechi get repositioned into choke points. Fantastic there by Babaorum. unfortunately for him, is what the hell do you do when you're outnumbered by 24 camels? A few camels peel off to the right to go after villagers. The rest, I mean, they're more than enough to go after these Lechai, and Babaorum has a lot of resources. He is training more and more Lechai. I bet he wishes he was the Vietnamese who hit Imperial Age with conscription available immediately and able to train these Lechai. This guy is just stuck behind a whole bunch of skirmishers doing loop-de-loops. He thinks he's on a merry-go-round here, but the camels have breached. 4 conversions for these monks. Whatever good that did is no longer relevant. And yeah, MbL just overruns this position with quantity, and at the end of the day, yeah, he still has 17 camels, 6 crossbows to these skirmishers, and 2 Lechai, 1 Lechai, 0 Lechai of his opponent. This heavy converted camel is the strongest unit our Lithuanian has right now. And that's all she wrote for our Lithuanian in yellow. Wow. What an absolute fantastic battle by MbL. Everything was timed so well, except for this one Treb that wasn't really firing. Everything else, the attack on the castle by the Trebs, would have maybe liked to see this guy on the high ground. I thought he was for a second, but maybe move him a little bit closer. Castle went up behind all this. The push fantastic, and like Babaorum should have done in the beginning by garrisoning his villagers, MbL immediately garrisons it. He smells blood in the water. He doesn't care about idle time for 9, I guess 8 in the castle villagers. He doesn't care. He just wants the added arrows. He wants the added damage, and he wants to kill his opponent as fast as possible. And that's exactly what happens. Wow. When you're playing the Byzantines, man, oh man, do you have to be cognizant of their ability to rush their asses up to Imperial. And even though our Lithuanians in Imperial, he's again, like we saw yesterday, fighting with a Castle Age unit. I mean, this is 18 attack. It could be so much better. He had so many reasons. I feel like he had more food. I don't know why sometimes Capture Age, when I fast forward to the end of the game, doesn't show the accurate food count, or rather the resource count. But in any event, 76 camel riders. We'll say call them camels because the majority of the game, they were just basic camel riders. 40 skirmishers, and even though they move faster, ultimately didn't help them one bit. PKPM 11 minutes in. I think that might have been the first battle. PKPM a few minutes after that. So a bit more relaxed game for both players with 148, 135. Economy about 10% difference. Relic gold going to our Lithuanian, with 4 relics. But at the end of the day, all 4 resources going to our Byzantine with a little bit here, a little bit there, a little everywhere. And ultimately does end up with a 10% bigger economy. 6 conversions out of 122 is 5%. That's not terrible. Not great, but not terrible. So Babaorum converting 5% of MbL's army. MbL converting less, I guess just a little over 1%. And 3 destroyed buildings. Let's take a look at the kill count. I don't think really villager kills were that important. Yeah, 23 to 12 and 110 to 83. So the numbers are somewhat similar. And I think the loss of the castle and the fact that he is just being overrun, this is what I'm talking about, the ability of the Byzantines to just clog the toilet with wads of units, more units, camels, crossbows here, camels over here, more streaming forward. He's triple the army count of his opponent, and that's because the majority of his army is 25% off. And that doesn't sound like a big discount, but believe me, when resources are scarce, that very much is, although resources are very much not scarce for our Byzantine, who at the end of the day, how many stables did he have? Only 7. Okay. So I guess we're still in the relatively early Imperial, I would say, 40 minutes in. Would have loved to see this game go on for another 5 minutes or so. Maybe let our Lithuanian mass up a few more Lechai. He does have 3 castles. Was he not training any more Lechai out of these castles? He was. Unfortunately, 2 of his castles are nowhere near the battlefield, so Defender's advantage actually becomes Offender's advantage here as MbL is able to produce... Actually, never mind, he's not producing cataphracts at all. Neither of them have any advantage. One has to train Lechai to come to the battlefield all the way from here. The other is streaming camels. Oh, mama, is that a parade push of camels if I've ever seen one. And yeah, there you go. In this particular matchup, quantity beats quality. Babaorum, perhaps underestimating how quickly our Byzantine can get to Imperial, does eventually get there himself, but he's getting chemistry. Why is he getting chemistry right now? He needed to focus on he needs to focus on iron casting, and he perhaps needed to focus on buying some more stone for another castle so he could start pumping out a lot more Lechi, because that is the battle we all want to see. The discounted, albeit weaker, heavy camel rider of the Byzantines taking on the redonkulous power of the Lithuanian Lattice. Elite, let's put it, versus heavy. In this case, one player had heavy, one player had basic, and the heavy, the quantity beat out quality, and MbL with the spine in the middle of stables, the 2 castle push, and just the absolute overrunning of his opponent here in this big battle at the end of the game takes the W. But GG in a super fun matchup. I keep coming back to this house. A fantastically placed house saved a lot of trouble for Babaorum in the earlier stages of the game. A lot of trouble of having those 3 or 4 spearmen join the battle, and then all of a sudden, yuck, you have to add more of your own army. You have to be more careful. You're not microing your economy as carefully. That's exactly what MbL wanted with those units, and Babaorum denied that. So fantastic moves out of both players, actually. And then the sneaking of the spearmen here, which MbL caught just the tip of that yellow scout that we saw, and then returned home to deal with it. But again, fantastic game out of both players. But MbL ultimately, with the overrunning of the enemy position, takes the game. But GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.